Coming up on OTH, Raymond and I discuss the details of patch 12.11, the newly released champion Bel'Veth, and go over a preview of the upcoming LCS Summer Split. We hope you enjoyed this episode of On the Hunt. Welcome everybody to episode 57 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I'm your co-host Chris, aka the Mobile Zoomer, because I just found out a month ago like how cool TikTok is actually, because I had to download it for the first time to do some work stuff with it, I swear. Okay. Yeah, you can really get lost in that app, and there's a lot of cool stuff you can do in there, a lot of cool music that you can pick from, and fun ideas that you could make cool stuff with. So yeah, TikTok and Reels is kind of cool, man.
Wait, I swear I had seen you doing like Reels or TikTok for work. Was that only a month ago? It seems like I saw those pop up on my feed.
Yeah, I posted something on my own Instagram, just for fun, because I happen to have like a whole side room full of boxes just for like no reason, and like me and my coworkers were like, we gotta do something with this before we like had to move it out and put it in its proper place. But yeah, it was like 20 grand worth of stuff, like just stuffed in a room, like it's a warehouse or something, and then we had to bring it somewhere else after that anyways. So enough about me and my personal life. Over on the other side of the call here, we've got our other co-host Raymond. What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Just been going along. Went out with some coworkers last night, so my voice is maybe a little shaky, but
okay. Out on the town
a little bit. We went to a karaoke bar. That seems like where everybody always wants to go when we have outings. So yeah, it's a good time. But I've been playing some League, playing some more Diablo Immortal. I hit the max level.
Okay.
Yeah, my thing.
I will be happy to announce to you that I played some League as well in this last week. Sheesh. In fact, I played a whole match history's worth of games, a full-on 20 in one day.
Damn, bro,
3 ARAM games and 17 ERF games. Holy. And I stayed up. I was up till like 3 a.m. back to back playing League, and so yeah, I mean the fun times are back, I think.
That's crazy, dude. Nice. Welcome back.
I was having fun, and what can I say? Had some pals on, sent some invites out, and then we were just gaming till the wee hours of the night.
That's the way to do it.
And I finally got a little bit of hands-on experience with the durability patch, and I would say that you definitely feel it. It doesn't seem too egregious, but I would say everybody feels 15, maybe even sometimes 20% tankier. And it doesn't feel like I do less damage, but people feel tankier. So it doesn't feel that bad actually. When I'm playing like a DPS champion, stuff like that, but overall, I mean, it's cool that people live longer, but of course, in a way, it always feels like other people are tankier except me.
Yeah, right. It's like
I guess that's kind of the
make
problem.
One mistake and it's still fucked up.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, the game feels nice in the brief amount of time that I spent with it.
The brief, 11 hours straight that you spent with it.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it is ERF games too.
That's
so
true,
does durability really count?
True.
But I mean, got some ARAMs in. I think I played a couple of normal games as well, and still the same game as it was.
Yeah, it's definitely not foreign, but it takes some adjustment for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we delayed this a little bit from last week because 12.11 is a fatty patch with, let me count, 12 champion nerfs, 14 champion buffs, over 20 items adjusted. And a couple of more champions adjusted as well. Beautiful skins, some other minor system adjustments like grievous wounds, and all of the LCS teams are playing on this patch with very little time to practice with it. So I'll just run through it a little bit. So I think grievous wounds was adjusted this patch. It's getting lessened once again. So it just the debuff of grievous wounds is not as strong, and they've lessened it twice in a row, to my understanding. And then a lot of the items are getting changed. I think some of the mage items, the sustained damage ones, are getting nerfed, and then they're buffing up some of the other ones. A lot of the tank items are getting buffed. Bomby Cinder, Frostfire, Sunfire, uh, Chem Tank, Abyssal Mask, Knight's Vow, Randuin's, Spirit Visage, Zeke's, all getting a little bit of buffs. Some nerfs to the fighter items because some of them were kind of strong, like Maw and Death's Dance. And then just bringing back some other ones into the limelight, like Blade of the Rune King, Sterix, and Gore Drinker. Some touches to Kraken Slayer and Umbral because they were kind of strong in the last patch. And then just a whole bunch of champions to talk about here. Um, do any of those interest you? I guess I'll name them off as well. So nerfs for Brand, Gwen, Red Kane, Kog'Maw, Lilia, Master Yi, Rengar, Senna, Swain, Talia, Vhagar, and Wukong. Buffs for Aphelios, Caitlyn, Gragas, Irelia, Lee Sin, Nunu, and Willip, and Rakan, Ryze, Samira, Silas, Tom Kench, Tarek, Tryndamere, Xin and then some. I think it's a nerf for Fizz. I think they did an additional like mid-patch thing for Olaf that overall makes him a nerf, and then of course another 10-story paragraph for Zeri. So who knows what went on there? Now let me ask, what catches your attention here, my good sir?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of this patch is like kind of just like tapping down the big outliers from the durability patch, like the stuff like Kog'Maw, Lilia, Senna. Those guys are like the big ones that I think had, the sustained damage, percent HP damage, like super long range. Those kind of things are all very conducive to durable metas, I guess you'd say. So they were the clear outliers. I think a lot of that kind of goes in line for where they're doing little touches here and there on champs here. It's just like it's pretty clear when you don't fit into the new style of league, I guess. So they're tapping down numbers here and there. But those are like kind of the big ones, like the Kog'Maw, Lilia, Senna that I saw in like streams and stuff for 12-10 getting touched. I think there's still a decent amount of like Senna that I've seen around, and Lilia. I think Kog'Maw's definitely gone down in priority from what I've noticed. But I think it's good that they're addressing these kind of things. I mean, like there were obvious outliers, probably OP in the last patch, so it's I'm glad they didn't just like stick around like that for a while.
Yeah, and while I make fun of the fact that there's just like so many changes coming out at once on the patch that LCS is about to play on in a couple of days, I mean, literally they probably get like 10 days of practice with this patch. I mean, yeah, following the durability changes, there are going to have to be a ton of adjustments, and I guess one part of me is really glad that a lot of it comes through once again at once, and then
Yeah.
hopefully from here on it's just minor tweaks and adjustments. For me, I'm really excited about Irelia, Lee Sin, and Tryndamere buffs. Just the fun champions that I like to play. They're giving them some love back. Tryndamere, I think they're like, I don't know if it's a full-on revert, but they're like giving him back some cooldown on his ultimate. And then Lee Sin was just some damage on his Q as well, I think. So glad to see the champions that I like to see getting some buffs back as well. And then a lot of buffs to some of the lesser known AD carries like Caitlyn and Samira, and a little bit for Aphelios as well, although he has seen a lot of play over the last couple of months, at least in Pro.
Yeah, I think with those guys, I'm a little surprised that they touched Aphelios so quickly because I guess he's just been like he's had a really low win rate in solo queue and stuff. I think is probably why they wanted to buff him some. But I feel like that's a champ that is probably always going to get picked in pro still, and like just 80s like feel comfortable with it. But they're nice number changes for sure on his passive. Um, I think the Caitlyn ones are kind of interesting because she definitely has a spot that she should be in. Like if you're fighting against like Vaynes and Sennas and Kog'Maw, like you're like, oh, pick Caitlyn, you'll bully the lane and get plates and shit like that. But if she's not strong enough, then she's just not strong enough and can't do that. So getting a nice number boost to her Q and her E just for overall damage and like lane is nice.
Yeah, another one that caught my attention was the buffs to Rakan. So they buffed his Q heal, W cooldown, and E mana cost and shield. So it was just overall makes him a better champion for like the entirety of the game by hitting all of his or buffing all of his normal abilities.
Yeah, it is kind of an interesting. I like their little blurb on him, and it makes sense. It's one of those that you don't necessarily think of right away, but it definitely made sense that they said he's a champ that is made to, you know, like make a big engage and one shot people during that engage. And now that people are a little tankier, it's not as easy to do that. So I'm glad that they are saving him a little bit of that struggle.
Yeah. From there on, are there any other champion adjustments that catch your attention here?
I think we got to talk about Zeri at least a little bit and just say like this. I think this patch they weren't sure what it was going to be. What is it listed as in the info? Is it like an adjustment for her? Yeah, but like she came out on this patch like way too strong. They changed the change to her W where now when it goes through walls, the damage like crits. Just made her like I think they put a lot more damage into her kit and took off like the slow on her charged passive auto. So they gave her a lot of more damage that like you just a lot of people aren't used to. Like her W when you get a few items going the crit build, you have a lot of AD. Like it can do like 500, 600 damage like in AoE on from like Lux ult range kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
the mid patch, like they hit her with a hotfix nerf. I think she's a little bit more in line, but probably we'll see a lot of play on Abzeri still. I saw some people worried that like they took off all that utility stuff, and now that they're nerfing her damage, she's probably like if this hotfix isn't enough and she gets hit like another time in the next patch, she can probably become like another tickle monster again. But we'll see how she lands after the hotfix.
Sweet. Any other champions you want to talk about?
I don't think I don't think any champs in particular. No, there's a lot of just little ones that I like don't care unless they show up.
For sure. And then one last thing that comes in this patch is a reduction of turret damage because they say here they overbuffed it for the durability patch, and so they're just lessening it, the amount of damage that it deals for the first 13 minutes, it looks like.
And it's only the outer towers. I think all the other turrets stay the same, but just that first tower for your laning phase is going to do a little less damage.
Okay, then. And then in skins in this patch, we got the summer theme coming on here. So Ocean Song, Ash, Zeri, Yone, Nidalee, and Seraphine with the new prestige skin for Seraphine as well. And then also a new skin for the newest champ, Bel'Veth, that came out last Thursday.
Yeah, I like a lot of these skins. I don't know. I don't think I've played with any of them yet. But I like the splash arts at least. They're kind of fun splash arts.
Yeah, splash arts are cool. I think the colors, they like I could really start to get some of these champions mixed up with other people. Like I think the Ocean Song Seraphine one that like it looks like one of the MF skins. Even though like I know she's sitting on her little throne thing, but
Yeah.
like just the I guess the color and the hair makes me feel that way. The Nidalee one I'm not too crazy about. That one just kind of looks like a recolor, like in the game at least. But the Ash one is like kind of nice. Fan appealing, I guess. But I don't know if it's like I guess unless I see it in the game, just looking at it,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like my favorite, best Ash skin or something like that.
And there are so many Ash skins, so it's hard.
So many good Ash skins. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
All right. So, any last words for patch 12.11 here?
Well, do you want to talk about Bel'Veth at all? Have you seen that champ?
I have seen it, and I was a little confused about like what she does because I saw it in game without knowing what she does, and then like, and I was actually like jungling as Lee Sin, and she like tried to invade me, and I was like really surprised. I guess how strong she was, not in due part because of durability, but also just like she was hitting me hard, and then like when I try to hit her back, I expected her to be squishy just from the looks of it on like just on physical appearance, and she was not squishy.
Yeah,
But now I'm freshened up on Bel'Veth now, and yeah, I'm happy to run through her as well.
yeah. No, let's do that before we talk more about impressions, I guess.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, so we're just gonna do a quick run through of her abilities, but she is out now. So her passive is that After using an ability, her next two autos have increased attack speed. Additionally, when she takes down a large monster or champion, she gets permanent bonus attack speed in the form of stacks. And then she has just a funny thing where she attacks faster than normal and does not have an attack speed cap. However, she deals less damage through on-hit effects, and she does not get attack speed on level up.
Yeah, so she's a little bit like Callisto with her autos and on hit stuff, where she just does less damage with auto attacks, but she has the highest base attack speed in the game. Um, but yeah, like you said, it's all through scaling up those champ kills and camp kills, jungle camps.
There we go. Her Q is her little dashy dash thing. So I guess she has four directions that you can dash in, and you can dash in any of them, and only that direction goes on cooldown. So you can continuously dash over and over, and you can't go through walls unless you do something with your ulti, to my understanding.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the wall thing, but I haven't ran into that. But it is like it's like Urgot passive with the direction scaling.
Yeah,
For
and
them.
she deals damage whatever she dashes through.
Right.
That part is a little important. That makes her a jungler. And then her W, she just does like a little slam down, kind of like Vel'Koz. It looks like Vel'Koz W, but then it also knocks up, and it slows people as well. And then if you hit somebody, then whatever direction that they are relative to you, that part of your Q, that direction of your Q's cooldown is lessened.
I think it's like fully reset. Like you get that dash back.
Oh, really? Okay, so it helps you chase people down.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can like Q in and W, and then you have another dash to like go after them in that same direction.
Cool. For her E, she puts like a little circle around her, and then it like automatically targets the lowest health enemy within her circle and just starts hitting them with bonus damage for the less health that they have, and also hits them more with the more attack speed that she has. So this skill kind of reminds me of something like Aphelios Red Gun Q, where like you just activate it and it starts hitting stuff around you. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that kind of tracks. I think it's also important to note like you get damage reduction and lifesteal during this, like while she channels it. So it's a little bit like the damage reduction, like Aurelia W, like you have to hold in place, right? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the lifesteal, the damage, all is like scaling off of your attack speed, that kind of stuff. So it's this is the big ability kind of for Bel'Veth to like go in and try and get a kill, draw a bunch of aggro. Um, Stay away from her kind of when she's doing it. Don't unload because it's a pretty considerable damage reduction.
Yeah. So do you know, is it like a full on channel you can't move at all?
You can like reactivate it. Like you don't have to commit to it the whole time, but while you're using it, it's like 1.5 seconds of like yeah, you stand completely still and you're channeling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then lastly is her ulti that has a passive and an active. So the passive is that every second attack against the same target deals additional true damage infinitely, I guess it says here.
Hmm.
And then takedowns against epic monsters and champions leave behind a piece of void coral. And then epic monster takedowns like Rift Herald and Baron Nashor drop a special void coral that you can pick up as well. And then so for her the active portion of her ulti, she consumes a piece of void coral, um, deals damage in slowing people to nearby people, more damage based on their missing health, and then she temporarily goes into her true form, which is increased max health, out of combat move speed, attack range, attack speed as well, bonus attack speed as well. And when you're in true form, you can dash through walls with your Q, and then also any minions that die around her during true form turn into voidlings as well that just start mashing down lanes and attacking turrets and stuff like that. So just kind of like a form upgrade kind of ulti where like you use something kind of like the old Swain where you had to like consume like his stacks in order to turn on your ulti, and then you get more health, buffed up stats and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's a pretty long form duration. Like that, I think it's when you take a champion, it's only like 60 seconds. But if you take a large monster like or an epic monster like Dragon or Herald or the Baron, it's like 3 minutes that she can be in the thing. So
Oh,
it's
that's
usually,
crazy.
yeah, I think the biggest thing on that is like it's pretty important that like she's gonna try to go for early heralds, so that like you can be in that form for a while, and just farm faster, all that kind of stuff as she scales up. So it's pretty important for her to get those epic monster kills. But in general, like early game, it's really bad for the enemy team if you're letting her get in this form often, and just be able to have like all those free stats.
All right, today I learned. I actually didn't know that the duration was so long.
Yeah, I think also one thing to note on the minions that she spawns, she only gets those when she takes the epic monster like upgraded coral. So like that's a big thing like to watch out for, especially like in the early game. I've seen like clips already from people who get like a 12-minute Rift Herald and like go into top lane, spawn the Herald. You do that. You use it where you take the first tower, like the last three plates off of it, and then the whole time you're just stacking up like an extra two or three minion waves of these little voidlings that are like seriously. I think the her minions are like it's not like Malzahar minions or something like that where they're like little baby things or like Yorick ones where it takes two hits to kill. It's like a full normal lane minion that just
Yeah.
spawns alongside her. So it can really like if you don't have proper wave clear to be able to deal with that kind of stuff, or just like fight her off of the push when she takes like a Rift Herald like that, it's going to be a hard time for sure.
Yeah, and that you can spawn a lot of them as well,
Yeah,
which is
there's
the
like
the
no
fun
cap.
part.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that was just a quick run through of Bel'Veth and her abilities. So yeah, what do you have any initial impressions of her so far after a couple days of being out?
I haven't got to play as her like in a normal game. I haven't like tried to do that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but she does seem pretty fun, like just messing around in like practice school, that kind of stuff. She's a kind of fun champ to play, I think. But a lot of I don't know, I feel like a lot of the sentiment around her is that she's like kind of I don't know, everybody keeps calling her a new Master Yi. I think it's just like the true damage auto attacky melee range thing. But like she is very low punishing, I think, because she's pretty weak early. Like you're not gonna win straight 1v1s most of the time if you like meet the enemy jungler somewhere. But especially pre-6 when you like haven't stacked stuff up and don't have your true form or anything like that. So I think she's like she's good in low elo where you can kind of just farm jungle for a long time, get a bunch of stacks, find yourself a dragon or something or a random takedown, and then be in your true form and be strong. Um, but I'm not as sold that she's like bad in high elo yet. I think they're already talking about the next patch that she's getting like some nerfs targeted for her. And I think Riot August tweet out that like it's because her win rate is like approaching like a stable like 48 or 50 or something like that, even in high elo play. Um, which seems to make sense to me. I think a lot of people early just expected her to do more, and she's she is weak. She has to scale. Like you don't know the builds, right? That kind of stuff. But she's getting back to like a expected win rate. I think so. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, and one thing about her Q is that it looks super fun to use. It really reminds you of like just Callisto hopping all over the place where yeah, you just have the maneuverability to be able to dodge stuff or um kind of just juke people out as well.
Yeah, when you have like all four stacks up and it's like somebody you dodge the first skill and then you can dodge the next skill and and then they're all out and you can go forward again and fight. Like that's super crazy moments.
Anything else about Bel'Veth you want to talk about?
I don't think so. We'll see. We'll see how she goes. I wonder. I think she's probably not in LCS this week, huh? But like the next one, I wonder if anybody's gonna try to pick her in pro.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they enabled her for the first week because they usually, champions especially, they usually don't let them on too quickly.
Right.
Um, Patches, there have been some patch exceptions in the past where like yeah, something like this, 10 days of playing on it, they just fuck it, put you through. Um, But yeah, I'm wondering if anyone will play her too. But yeah, she doesn't have any like strong stuns or anything, just a couple of different slows. So I don't know how impactful she'll be in pro play unless she's just like overly tuned, which it doesn't seem like she is.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we'll see, I think it's probably the most powerful part when she gets like those early heralds and can do crazy stack pushes. Like I could see
Yeah.
that being something that pro teams could abuse and just like you overload a map. You win if you win if you actually win a herald fight. Like that's like probably two turrets that you get for free off of that push with like the numbers differential and the minions and the herald all at once.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now that we're through the latest, I don't know. I almost wanted to call it PVE just because it's like non-pro stuff. But
Yeah.
so we're through the patch. We're through the newest champ, and now let's get into some LCS talk. Starting with the summer promo video that they put out a couple of days ago, which was pretty cool. They brought a lot of former pros in, even like some people like I think Hotshot, the CEO of Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses, was in the video, and then a lot of just old school LCS players. I think I saw X Special, and a lot of them are only present for like one frame, but
Yeah.
they have them there. X Special, X Smithy, Double Lift, Sneaky.
Lemonation.
Yeah, Elimination. Oh yeah, I guess I'm kind of blanking after that.
Boy
If you can
Boy was
remember
there.
anymore. Ooh, boy, yeah, boy, yeah, and then, yeah, some people were there, and then some people they were just like showing clips of them. So that's the part I'm kind of like lapsing on.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy was there for sure. And yeah, they just had it was like a bit of a focus on like them, those old school people, and then looking forward to like the next
Yeah,
split of
the
LCS.
people
So
there,
not too much.
they kind of showed off like the people that they were like handing the torch to, kind of. Not that any of the old schools that they showed are like actively handing it off. That'd be like Afromoon's job at this point. But like
Yeah.
just like the one clip where they had a Sneaky and Double with like looking up at Danny after the like with the sound of the pentakill playing and that stuff. That was cool.
Uh huh. Yeah. So just a couple of things is that one, I think it's cool that they did something like this because I think last split the LCK did something like this for their finals promo as well, where like they just brought back a lot of former LCK pros,
Yeah.
um, and did like a I don't know if they were part of the ceremony or if it was just for a special video or something like that.
I think they were part of the ceremony. Like
Uh
they
huh.
had like all a bunch of the old LCK champions like on stage, if I remember right.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just pretty cool that you can you can contact all these former pros, and I guess they're still in the LA area, and so I had thought that, and I was actually double surprised that Lemonation was featured in there because I thought that he was like out of commission for some reason.
Like he
Um,
died or something or what?
yeah, like not that he died, but I thought he was like sick or something like that, and
Oh.
like I don't know, was just like bedridden for some reason. I don't know why I thought that. Um, and then the last thing I wanted to say is that any video that Spica's in, like he just looks ultra fucking cool for some reason. All right, those are my quick comments on the LCS summer promo. But yeah, what do you think of it, man? I thought it was super sweet.
Yeah, I thought it was cool too. Yeah, I was thinking the one speaker footage they had, I thought it was the same like a clip from last Split's promo. To be honest, like I
The
did,
Ignite one, yeah.
yeah, like I was like, did they? Is this even new footage? But yeah, no, I did think it was really cool. And like it did seem a little weird that there weren't like more faces from the current LCS, like active players, like in it.
That was
I
my
thought,
thought too. Like
yeah,
it felt a little short. Like just because the song is over, the video now the video's over, and they
yeah.
didn't show a lot of like the current split people.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we can do the Danny thing. That's a cool one. And then let's pick a couple other people, maybe Blabber. And then, okay, yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty much it. We've got everybody. And I was like, there's a lot more players in the LCS right now. I'm surprised you did give at least some screen time to him.
Yeah, and kind of like what you said gave me an idea. Like I wish it really was like some sort of like handshake between Xmithy and I guess Blabber or something.
Yeah,
No, which would make sense because they played at the same time. But yeah, stuff like that. Like if Danny could handshake Double F and Sneaky or something like that would be freaking sweet. I would kind of assume that a lot of stuff I think I saw a couple of things on Twitter where like if one person gets COVID, then the entire team is not allowed on like the LCS set or something like that.
Yeah,
I think I thought I had something like that on Twitter.
yeah, I think some of that was coming up because they did um the college law like finals this last week. And there's some drama around teams not being able to go on stage and stuff like that because of like subs getting positive tests and all that. But yeah, I mean that makes sense, especially especially if you're bringing in all these people that are like kind of removed from the scene and doing whatever. Like if you're right from Ryan's perspective, it's like we don't really have control of these guys. We're asking them to like come in from wherever. Do we want to potentially expose all our players like 2 weeks before the split starts? Maybe not.
Yeah, and it could be like anyone. It could be like the assistant coach gets test positive, and then the whole just the whole team is not allowed to participate in any right sanctioned activities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, is what I think I saw on Twitter, but my memory's kind of bad. I'm getting old these days. But yeah, the summer split is here. We're starting on Friday, I believe, and so let's go ahead and take a peek at the schedule and some of the games happening this weekend, and let's see what we can get hyped about.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, right up on Friday, the first game is Evil Geniuses versus Cloud9. I think we can agree that that's a match to look forward to. The previous champions and this kind of newly reformed Cloud9 with a couple of new members on it. Well, what do you think about that first match of the Friday?
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. I can't wait. I can't believe I haven't already seen tweets from JoJo saying that he's gonna send Jensen back to retirement or anything.
Yeah. What actually? Can I get your opinion on I guess the JoJo tweets throughout MSI and stuff like that? Do you have any thoughts about them, or does it make you feel a certain way?
Uh, I don't think it makes me feel a certain way. I feel like I'm uh, to some degree. I think his MSI ones are definitely like it's kind of just like at that point you're playing the character. I feel like during like Spring Split and LCS, like the stuff that he trash talked during Spring Split, like domestically, I think was like that's good banter. Like it's confidence. It's fun to see. The stuff at MSI I felt a lot more like I think he knows that he's not actually gonna slap Faker in the next game. It's like the same thing that happened to Jensen. Um, but it's good content for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it as well. Like I'm kind of neutral. I don't think like, oh, I'm so glad he's trash talking, or I don't think like, oh, it's so cringe. I'm pretty neutral about it. And if anything, it's fun for me to see the opportunity arise of like, I think the first time he said it, then Yankos and like G2 came back with like, oh, we'll show you international. Like that's really cool.
Yeah,
So I guess I hope that he keeps doing it, but um I don't know. It's kind of fun to me.
yeah. I'm definitely with you. Definitely not a negative thing. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways, this first match, yeah, looking forward to JoJo versus Jensen, and really just Jensen and support Sven, how that's going to go, or if Berserker's going to be able to play at all. I don't know if we ever got an update on his passport situation.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard
Um,
anything official yet from C9 on that about what's going on.
yeah, and then I think that Danny was also sending out some tweets, at least a month ago or a couple weeks ago, about being burned out after playing the full spring split and then like so many playoff games and then going to MSI or traveling to another country, playing on 30 ping plus, playing another butt fuck ton of games, and so he was
Yeah,
saying that he felt a little burnt out, and so I wonder our MSI team going to have like a little hangover, coming back. Especially since they did get out of the group stage, so they participated in the
yeah.
semifinals. So, they
And
played
as
their
many
fair
games
share of
as you
games.
could expect from an NA team, right?
Yeah, and so yeah, I wonder if they're going to have a little bit of a hangover that some MSI teams just around the world tend to suffer from. I think even Cloud9 had a bit of a slump at the beginning of last summer split as well.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I think it was Parth who had a like tweet thread about that like burnout situation, which is probably like fair. Like, I mean, I think it's probably what we should expect out of EG is you just got back from like a super intense like tournament off season, and you're like one, you probably trained a whole lot to play like to get your ass fucked by a lot of these international teams. on like a particular meta. Like there's probably a good amount of inertia about like coming up with new strategies, especially with the new patch. And then also, you probably don't want to have to be like win every game now. Like now that you're the defending champ, I don't think you want to do that stuff. So I Partha talked about a lot about like it's important for like EG staff to make sure that the guys like are like kind of tempered like all their expectations and all that kind of stuff so that they don't have to be super like high intensity on the entire split in summer too, because it's really like at this point it's you just got to play for playoffs and worlds. So we'll see how it goes for him, but I'd expect a decent dip in performance, I think.
Awesome. I forgot to mention this, but I think FlyQuest announced yesterday that they're going to swap Kumo and their academy top lane, Philip, I think his name is, and I think Philip is going to be the starting top laner for at least this LCS weekend. So I just suddenly got reminded of that. Any other Friday games that you want to make sure to tune in for?
I think probably the biggest one is going to be 100 Thieves and TSM as like the next like top tier teams. Fingers crossed for TSM, but like I think like that'll be I still don't know if they've decided on Mia or Sheni for this week of
I
games.
I thought I did see something about Shenyi playing support, but I might be wrong about that.
Yeah,
Or sorry, playing academy.
yeah, I think he got subbed in for some of the academy games last week, but that was like before. I mean, like that's obviously not the LCS week, and they said it was like a day to day thing about like who's gonna play what games. So I don't know. I don't know if they've made a final decision or if everything's just been one day at a time kind of.
Okay, I do remember that. Did they put a statement out, something like that, of like this is a
Yeah,
day to day process?
yeah, they did.
Okay, I do remember seeing that now.
But yeah, I think that 100 Thieves matchup will be fun to see, like Maple, how Maple does too.
Yeah.
And then obviously for 100 Thieves too, like this is a team that I think people had a lot more expectations for last split, and then they were in finals, right, but couldn't close it out against EG. So this is definitely a bounce back split for them. I think we'll see how they can start out.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing how they didn't take a game off EG in the finals, but I still have a high impression of them as well for 100 Thieves. Coming up for Saturday, one matchup that catches my attention is again has to do 100 Thieves versus EG, the middle game on Saturday, and yeah, just hoping to see how these formerly top four teams fare against each other. This is the rematch of the finals, like we were just talking about.
Yeah, that's a good one. What else am I looking at? I think I'm looking for like I want to see some of these like Golden Guardians and like Dignitas. And I guess Immortals is the one that switched off a lot of their guys, right? Um, but it'll
Yeah,
be
that they're bringing in Lost, and I think was it a new jungler too? Yeah, the Xerxes for somebody else for
yeah
Kenvi,
for
I
Kenvi.
believe.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Immortals is going to be interesting to see how Kenvi does. I forgot about that.
Oh,
Yeah, but I guess that those are probably my two other biggest teams that I want to see how they do. And then I guess there's a TSM CLG game this weekend. That's kind of a fun one. We'll see if they're
yeah,
bottom of the barrel or not this split.
yeah. Do you remember? Oh, CLG did change their top lane as well. Jenkins for Dokla.
For
Okay.
Dokla, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then any other Saturday games that catch your mind?
No, I think those are that. That's all I got.
Awesome. And then yeah, lastly for Sunday, I'm looking forward to Team Liquid versus Cloud9. I think I'm still looking forward to Team Liquid play, although it's really bad that they lost, in the third place match.
Yeah,
Um, Leading into the end of the spring splits. But this is still one of my favorite teams to look forward to. Just an overall stacked roster, and I hope to see them come out swinging in the first weekend of the LCS, and hopefully they have a bit of like seeking revenge kind of mentality of like just hard practicing. There's a lot of stuff to catch up on with the last two patches, but
hmm
I don't. Do you know if Team Liquid went to Korea at all? I don't know if there's any other teams that went to Korea
they
to
definitely
like
there were at least some
continue.
players who did. I don't know if they had the full team, but definitely I saw Bjergsen and Bwipo both in Korea at different
Oh,
points during
okay.
this off season.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully they've been practicing hard, adapted to the durability patch and the new changes as well with patch 12.11, and hoping to see how well they do against a formidable opponent here in Cloud9, most likely.
Yeah, I think
And
that is a good call out. It's interesting to me. I feel like Team Liquid. I'm at this point. I'm not like super excited to see them play. I feel like I just am expecting them to do well, and at this point, it's just like, okay, we'll see if they do. I'm only gonna care until like we're in playoffs and like they are 17-1 again or something, and like we need to see if they can like go crazy. But I'm on a week to week at this point. Maybe it's just because they like didn't have any changes in the off season, and like we
yeah,
know
been
that
pretty
they're all
quiet.
good, right? It's like, yeah, unless they start doing crazy shit like every week, I'm kind of just expecting them to 2-0 even if I don't like want to watch the game.
Yeah, and I hope that the meta is a little better than Spring Split as well. I know we saw a lot of quirky play in Spring Split and stuff like that. So I hope that Summer has a bit more variety for the mid lane and just shows lets people show a bit more expression about early game movements and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I've been watching some Champions Queue. It seems like there's just Azir's back now. It's like Azir and
Oh
Victor instead of
no.
Corki. So
Damn, it'd be like that sometimes.
it's true. It's true.
All right. Any other games on Sunday of LCS that you want to watch?
Um, Not really. It's kind of a mishmash. The rest of those games. Definitely the TLC 9 is the big one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the return of LCS. It feels like we've been off for quite some time now, but we're back, baby. We're
We're
gonna do some
back.
more on the hunt. And I also saw something on Reddit today about like how Sivir is gonna get a little mini rework the way that Olaf and Talia did.
Hmm.
So, maybe we'll get a little rework as well.
Dude, if they change the name, come on.
Ooh.
They'll really screw us if they change the name of the ultimate. We'll have to change our name.
Well, no, we won't. I'm not changing the art. I'm not changing the name. I'm not changing our email.
Fair, 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 and fair.
Okay, and that's going to be it for episode 57 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on the service that you are listening to us on, if you haven't already. We'd appreciate it if you also give us a rating or hit the like button to show us some support. You can find us on YouTube as well as your podcast player of choice, from Apple Podcasts to Spotify and so forth. We'll see you all next week for another episode of On the Hunt.
Woo woo!